decision that you're going to contain your cat, there are a lot of choices as to how you're going to go about that. Are they going to have an outdoor enclosure, or are they going to be kept inside the house? Or are they going to be able to roam the yard but just not get over the fence? So first of all, you've got to think about your cat's needs and what your cat is like. So how old is your cat? How much freedom has it had in the past? Is it an active cat? Is it a sedentary cat, a lap cat? Is it a really feisty, hunty cat that has had a lot of its needs met outside and roaming? So once you've ascertained that, you can probably determine what you'll need to provide in that enclosure, or whether they'll cope with a much smaller environment to be contained in. So cats have really basic needs for survival: food, water, health. They also need somewhere to toilet, and they also need somewhere to rest and recuperate and be able to sleep safely without worrying about what's around the corner. Then they also have their behavioural needs. These are things that cats will strive to do no matter what, and that is to scratch, that is to hunt or to play. They also like to view their surroundings, but from a safe point of view. So they like to be up high. They like to see what's going on, but not necessarily be seen. Cats do love predictability. They do like this routine. That does reduce stress for them, so it should make the adaptation easier for them. Have that in place for when are they going to be fed, when they're going to want to be active, when you're going to have one-on-one attention with your cat, maybe some cuddle time. You should always be monitoring for signs of stress and discomfort as you introduce these changes. Signs of stress include really any deviation from what you consider normal to be your cat's behaviour. So they may groom less or more, start not looking after themselves. They might eat less or more. They might attention seek less, become quite aloof, or they might become really clingy and demanding. We would expect to see some changes in their behaviour, but it's really important not to presume that any change in behaviour is purely due to the change in their environment, and it is important that if you're concerned, you get your pet checked out by a vet. Cats can be trained, despite the myth that no, they only train us. We can actually train our cats just like dogs. For cats that are attention seeking, they might attention seek by scratching, by meowing, using methods that have worked before to get what they want. They might also have an undesirable behaviour, for example, jumping onto countertops or surfaces to access food and things while you're preparing it. One great trick can be to train your cat to station on a perch for a reward, and it's really easy to do. All you have to do is keep on luring them up onto their perch and rewarding them for being there. After a while, when they see you get out the food or whatever, they're going to hop onto their perch and look at you expectantly for their reward there. Whenever we're training cats, it is important to use the simple technique of positive reinforcement. All that means is that we're giving the cat something it wants for the behaviour that we like, and that way we're going to see an increase in that behaviour because they're going to work for what they want. So scratching is an inherent need in cats. They love to scratch, to stretch, to mark their territory, also to care for their nails. Previously your cat might have been scratching trees outside or the fence post. If that isn't provided for them, they are going to start scratching inside. So are they going to need more scratching posts? Are you going to need to position scratching posts in areas where the cat's now favouring to scratch, such as near the door or the couch right near the door to get your attention? Perhaps providing them with different scratching options. So they may not want the post, they might want an old ratty piece of carpet on the floor, or you may need to start to bring in some old tree stumps and things like that into their outdoor enclosure. Yeah, meowing is a normal vocalisation for cats. It's how they communicate. Often they'll meow when they want to be fed. What happens? We usually feed them to shut them up. So we do, unfortunately, reinforce a lot of annoying behaviours in cats. One thing the owner can perhaps do is preempt when the cat is likely to want to be let out and start meowing. Provide the cat with that outlet that it wants. Does it want to play a game? Did it want to go outside to go to the toilet? And now they've got to go to the toilet inside. So we have to try and proactively think about what the cat's routine was, when is it likely to start meowing to demand your attention, so that you can intervene before they resort to doing that. So a lot of cats are already toilet trained. They're happy to use their litter tray. Some cats, however, may have a preference for going to the toilet outside in soil, and they may find it very hard to transition to a litter tray. It's quite a lengthy process to explain the whole toilet training process for cats, but giving them choice, if you are starting to have to contain them indoors and they're no longer allowed to go outside in an outside enclosure, providing them with a smorgasbord of trays in different locations, different sizes, and with a different substrate of litter. So it may have to be dirt or sand to start with before you move on to pellets or other clay substrates. The location of the litter tray is very important. They like peace, they like quiet, they don't want it to be next to the laundry washing machine. They don't want it where the dogs might be sniffing after them straight away. Cats like a large area to scratch in if they've been used to going outside. So often litter trays do need to be a lot bigger than the commercial ones that you find. One sign of stress can be urinating in inappropriate places, but also spraying, and they are two entirely different things. So a cat urinating in inappropriate places is a cat that's going to the toilet outside of its litter tray, which is frustrating for the owner. But they will squat and they will void a large amount of urine, whereas spraying is a real call for help. It usually does say that your cat is stressed and that they're having to mark their territory repeatedly to make themselves feel more secure. When a cat's marking or spraying, what they do is they reverse up to a vertical object or a wall. They'll often tread with their back feet, their tail will be upright and quivering, and they'll just deposit a really small amount of urine. If your cat is marking or spraying, then they do need veterinary attention and probably help with stress levels. If your contained cat is now starting to show increased signs of aggression, it could be that its predatory needs aren't being met. A lot of cats, if they're left to their own devices in the wild, would catch 10 to 20 small objects of prey during the day. So they'd have little short outbursts of aggressive behaviour, hunting that little skink or that little bird or that butterfly. So if they are showing signs of aggression to the owner, it could be that they need more hunting opportunities that you need to provide for them. It could also be that they're stressed, and this is how they're manifesting their stress and trying to get your attention or trying to reduce their stress levels from the captivity that they're now feeling. All cats are different in the manner that they like to hunt. So some cats will be much more stimulated by fluttery flying objects, and they'll do well with those sorts of toys on fishing rods. Some like little jittery critters to chase around on the floor. Some like to bat things around, so they'll want rolly toys. Some love to disembowel things, so they'll like big fluffy toys that they can get their back feet into and really rip into. And some like to investigate and pick away at things, so they'll like food puzzles and stuff. Another sign of stress can be increased eating to actually fill the time that they've now got on their hands, or they might become a bit depressed and not eat as much as they used to and start actually losing weight. Maybe they were supplementing their meals previously with wildlife or with skinks and things like that. You may be needing to start to think about different variety of food. I'm not suggesting you go and hunt lizards and provide them for your cat, but maybe they do need some raw food or something off a bone that they can have more interest in eating and consuming. If all our advice isn't helping and you're still struggling with your cat and can't determine how to resolve issues, there are other avenues that you can seek. So there are some vets with extra knowledge or a special interest in animal psychology or behavioural medicine. There are some specialists in behavioural medicine as well, but unfortunately only 3 in Australia. If you do want to seek special help or extra help, then you can certainly visit my website. The good news is that cats are adaptable. That's why they're such a successful species. They keep on adapting to changes in their environment.